A special nail addict shout out goes to, I believe it's Licorice 420, Nails by Cassie, Nails by Key, and April Shorty for being the first four to comment on my last video. Hey y'all, welcome back and welcome if you're new. My name is Sheena, and if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get into today's set. So I'm using a oldie but a goodie, the McCart and MelodySusie collaboration gel polishes. Polygels, goodness. So Marshmallow is one shade we're using, and then we're also going to use Bubblegum. So the set I'm doing today pretty much is a recreation. I've done this on myself before I even decided to do a YouTube or anything like that. Of course, I was playing with nail products way back when. And I'm going to pop a picture up of the inspiration set that I did back then, and it was a shorty, so I decided I wanted to recreate it in an XXL style, but also make it a New Year set. So again, typically New Year you see black and gold, but I wanted to try to do something fun, festive, that still screams New Year, and I think it came out perfect. So these are the normal nail tips I use from Amazon, and I'll have them linked down below. But I applied base gel and then cured that for 30 seconds. For the prep, it's a peel off, so I put on my peel off base, cured the nail tips on with base gel as well, because if you're using glue, it's pretty hard to get them to stick to any kind of shiny surface. And now I'm going in with bubblegum. For the index and the pinky, it's going to be the same, but I kept all of my polygel application in today's video because I love it. I just like to watch it back. Again, I think these nails came out so great. I have progressed so well with my application with polygel, and it's amazing. I just love to see growth in anyone, and when you're seeing growth within yourself, it makes it even more better. I just feel really overjoyed at how this set came out. But for the index, I am doing a negative space nail. So I like these type of nails. So typically I like things like negative space, color block. Those type of nails, when you're using products like this to build the nail, it's really interesting, very fun, very different, very nice. So I do always try to do these sets pretty often. It's more of what I gravitate towards. But I just squeeze the polygel out the tube close to the nail, like the free edge. And then I'm just using my slip solution, which is 91% alcohol, and my polygel brush, and I'm just patting this all over that nail up to the point where I do want it. And then once I get it where I want, I'm just trying to make sure that line is pretty straight before curing. I'm making sure my sides are really straight as well. So with polygel, it's really important to take your time and just make sure you're shaping that polygel to your nail so that when you go in to do any type of filing, it should be minimal. If you're using a nail tip, obviously the nail tip is your guide. So you want to kind of follow the nail tip, make sure your product is not overflowing too much over the nail tip, stuff like that. It's a learning process because in the beginning with polygel, it took me a while. I used to, I looked back at some sets last night that I did 2 years ago, and I could have did so much better. I know if I recreated any one of those sets, it would come out 3,000 times better at this point in my journey. And I'm thinking about doing a series like that, kind of just going back to my old polygel sets and just recreating them on XXL nails, just to see my growth and the comparison between a set back then versus now. I think that would be a very, very good series for me to start. So y'all comment down below and let me know what y'all think. Should I start recreating some of my very old sets from basically when I started YouTube or not? Also, when I first started YouTube, I would use a full cover tip to do an overlay. I would never try to attempt it like this with a half nail because I was scared of the apex. I wanted it to be a nice apex. So a full cover nail always worked for me. And I just love my growth because now I would never imagine using a full cover nail tip to do an overlay polygel set, and I just love it. So with my second bead, if you were watching, I did go ahead and place that by the cuticle, and then I am just I patted it around the cuticle to make it, you know, like fit to the cuticle, brought it down where I wanted it, and now I'm just like making sure the line there is straight and the sides are nice and good and tucked in before I do go ahead and give this a 30-second cure. Again, I love Macart's Polygel. It works so well. Like, if y'all know this collection that I have here, this has been at least 2 years this came out, and again, it works magnificently. There's nothing wrong with it. Both of my tubes are pretty full, so I am going to use my products. And this is like a collectible. So this one, the Fit Me Beauty collaboration they did, I have all of the sets still like in full, and even if I do use the polygel to the point where it's gone, I'm definitely going to keep those as keepsakes, just because these were special moments in these YouTuber lives to be able to have a collection that they curated and created and put together. And it was such a nice kit, this one was, and it went so fast. Like, I had to get it in the second round when it came out, because I tried to get it that first round and I didn't make it. Shout out to MelodySusie, girl. You have always done your thing, and you are also an inspiration to you. And I just love this kit. This kit was great. So for my middle finger, I am using Marshmallow, and I'm going to do an ombre. So I'm basically, I squeeze the polygel from where the tip and the natural nail meet to the free edge, and now I'm just patting that all over the nail. Once I do get it all over the nail, you see me here just smoothing everything out and then like blending that back. This is such a beautiful shade. I absolutely love this. It's like a teal, it's like a green, and then like a blue. It's really, really nice. This shade is super, super nice. I've only used this kit one time, and that was like when I first unboxed it and showed it, and then this is the second time. So it's not something that I want to use often, but again, I just wanted to recreate this set, and I just felt like it would be perfect to use what I originally used for the set, and it came out so bomb. So by the cuticle, I am using bubblegum, and I'm going to go ahead and pat that into place right around that cuticle. And you just want to pat. You don't want to push anything. You're patting, and everything should just move nice and smooth how you want it. So I'm just patting, and then I'm leaving the center like pretty high to make an apex, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend that bead into the first already cured bead to make an ombre. Once I get that set how I would like it to look, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 30-second cure in my lamp as well. So we're skipping over to my pinky, and I am using Marshmallow, and I'm doing the same thing I did for the index. So I'm basically making a negative space. I did put the amount of polygel I felt I would need. I'm now just patting that, making sure that I do touch my sidewalls with the polygel. Once I touch all sides, I'm then going to go ahead and just smooth everything out up to the point where I want it, and then make sure the line is nice and straight there, and then I will give this a 30-second cure. So I sped the video up just because this is a longer video of mine. I typically try to keep my videos to a minimum of 25 minutes. I don't want to take up too much of your time. But for those that love to see like nail videos, I mean, to me, I do like a 30-minute video. I feel like it's a little TV show. I'm watching my show for the night or the morning, whenever I choose to watch it. So I do like them, but I try not to make them too long. I wanted to keep a lot of this in real time for those that are learning, just so you can kind of see the motions in like real time and everything. But again, it was so long. So without speeding anything up, it was like an hour. So of course I had to speed pretty much everything up in this video. So I did cure that first bead. I'm going in again as I did on the first by the cuticle. I am going to go ahead and pat around to the cuticle, just making sure it's nice and flushed and meeting the cuticle like it needs to, making sure it's also not on my skin at all. And then once I get that set, as far as like pulling it down to make that negative space, I'm gonna make sure the polygel is as straight as I possibly can get it, and then I'm gonna give this a 30-second cure in my neck. And then for my thumb, I am doing another ombre, but in the reverse. So I'm using bubblegum first. Again, I started where the tip and the natural nail meets. And then I just squeezed it down to the free edge area. And now I'm just patting it all over the nail as I normally do first. And once I have patted it completely over the nail, touching all the sidewalls, I'll go back in and just like smooth everything out and blend it back just a bit. And then I'm going to cure this first speed. And of course, by the cuticle, I do go in with bubblegum to make the ombre effect. And I'm going to, pat that around my cuticle and make it nice and flushed. And then I'm going to smooth that and blend that right into the already cured bubblegum polygel. I'm so excited for a new year, to start. Again, I feel like this year is going to be really good. I feel a lot more motivated than I was this past year. I just feel really hopeful that this year is going to bring lots of good things. I'm going to be spending New Year's in Orlando with my family, which is something, honestly, I really didn't want to do. Like, New Year's for me, I feel like I'd be wanting to be home, just relaxed, comfortable. But it is my niece's birthday Saturday, and, my girls and them have a really strong bond, and they just want to spend that time with them. And I definitely don't want to be away from my kids on New Year's. So, yeah, I'm going to go and join in the festivities so that I am at least with all of my kids for New Year's. And, just bringing it in with my kids is the most important. So I will be there. So tonight I'm trying to make sure I get all of my videos that I would like out up until the 1st. And then I'll come back on Monday and go in for the next week. But I'm hoping it's a really nice experience. I kind of have a sore throat right now. So I'm hoping I'm going to medicate tonight and hope by the morning it's not so bad. Because, I don't want to take anything with me and make anybody else sick. But it is what it is. So once everything is set, I wiped it down with a lid-free wipe. And I'm taking my hand file. And for the negative space areas, I am just filing where the lines are. They kind of make them a little bit more straight. And then we'll move on to the next step. So I'm taking base gel in the negative space area, and I'm going to use these confetti glitters. I don't really remember where I got these from, but I can link some that I did actually get off Amazon. I do believe these ones came in a Macart something or another, because I have so many of these little confetti glitters that, again, you can find them anywhere, but I'll find some to link down below, because, again, I got some off Amazon as well. They sell them pretty much anywhere. I'm pretty sure Temu, Shein, all of them have them. But these, to me, screamed party, festivities, New Year's. That's the vibe I was going for, is why I use these confetti glitters. So on the middle finger, I use base gel right where the ombre starts, and I just put a bunch of those glitters there and kind of trickled them down this nail, and then gave that a 30-second cure. And then on the ring finger, this nail is going to be pretty much a full glitter. So I'm taking the glitters and just piling them on so it'll be thicker at the top. And then as I go down the nail, it gets thinner and thinner. I thought this was such a beautiful nail. I love nails like this that are encapsulated. Just absolutely gorgeous, especially I like how these look once they're encapsulated and top coated. They give off a really nice shift, and it just came out so beautiful. I really love this set, and I'm really happy I decided to do something with a pop of color, because again, black and gold is where it's at for me for New Year's. But these actually came out super, super cute, so I'm gonna start trying to do this every year. Do a real nice festive New Year's set that's super cute. Doing the same thing on my pinky, where in the negative space, I'm putting those confetti glitters there, and I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds. And then on my thumb, I also do the same thing with the ombre, just put a little base coat over that area, put the confetti glitters, and cure that for 30 seconds as well. I hope that everyone is having an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you may be. And thank you for joining the video today. Welcome to the Nail Addict family. If you are new, I appreciate you. And if you're subscribed, I love you guys so much. Please don't mind my voice in the video. Again, my throat is starting to hurt all of a sudden. I was fine, and then this evening it just went crazy. But I'm using Macart's Clear Polygel, which used to be the best clear polygel on the market, and I do believe they still sell it on Amazon. If so, I'll link it down below. But I'm going in and encapsulating. So for me, like I've seen where people like encapsulate the whole nail. I encapsulate what I need and it works. So as you saw, I placed the clear right over the negative space. I'm now going in and just, blending it to the top, blending it to the bottom to make it nice and seamless, making sure there are no lumps and bumps and everything is nice and even. Once I get it to my liking, I do turn it to the sides and things to make sure everything is, again, nice and even. Once I get it to my liking, I do give this a 30-second cure at my lamp. So I always try to wear these UV gloves, and I'm going to start next year doing that a lot because the UV lamp can cause tanning and other issues. So me being a nail YouTuber and I do my nails very, very often, I want to protect myself. I also try to put sunscreen on every time I do my nails because, again, I don't want anything to affect me, being I'm doing what I love to do. For my ombres, because you always want to encapsulate ombres too, so when you go in and file, shape, and buff, you're not removing the ombre. But I basically just placed the clear polygel right over those glitters and right over where that ombre is. And I just patted it into place and I blended it very well to make sure everything was covered and gave that a 30-second cure. So for me, typically when I'm doing an encapsulation, I don't need much clear. I use very minimal, but making sure it's enough to actually cover everything. So like when I look at the nail, I know everything is nicely covered. When I do go to file, nothing should come off. It should, work really fine. So for my ring finger, I'm just doing my normal 2-beat method that I do. So I started there and then I squeezed the polygel and now I'm just patting it into place. It does cover the glitters perfect, obviously, because there's nothing else on the nail. We're basically just building this nail up with clear polygel. And I'm just patting it into place like I normally do, like touching the sides. Once they are done, I do go in and like smooth the nail out and then blend it up a bit so that I can cure it and go in with my second bead. So with this clear, sometimes it's a little hard to see, but again, I just turn my nails to the side, make sure everything is nice and smooth before I do cure, so that I do give myself an easier task when it comes to filing. So once the first bead is fully cured, again, I'm going in by the cuticle with my second bead. And I always start by that cuticle area, making the polygel nice and flushed around that area. I always try to keep the center of this bead high so that it makes an apex. And then I'm just blending the rest of that into the first already cured bead. And I'll give that a 30-second cure. So the pinky is the same. I'm going in with that clear right over the negative space. I'm going to go ahead and pat that over the negative space. Make sure I do blend it into the already cured polygel at the top of the nail, so making sure it's nice and smooth. And then I do blend that into the bottom portion of the nail too. The key with this is to make sure that the polygel is smooth. You don't want too many lumps and bumps. And it should just glide over just nice, cover everything up so that you're able to go in and file, shape, and buff just how you expect to do so. Showing you once again on my thumb how I do the ombre and encapsulating these glitters. So I put enough, not too much, and you see me going ahead and patting that over those glitters and the ombre. And as I'm doing this, I'm watching the polygel to make sure that it does cover everything very nicely, making sure none of those glitters are sticking out or anything like that. And I give it a 30-second cure. And this is how the nails look after being file shaped and buffed. I think I did such an amazing job. So now I'm taking Perfect White from Madam Glam, and on my index I'm going to write 2024 going down. I didn't know what color to use. I didn't know if I should have used like a marshmallow type color or like a pink, but I stuck with white because I felt like it would stand out. You can see it. It does also go with the set pretty well as well. And they're already very extra, the nails. So I decided with the rest of it, I would keep it a little bit simple with my wording and just keep it to a plain white. And I still loved how it came out. So I just kind of mapped it out first, and then I'm going back in just to make everything a little bit darker, and then I'll give this a 30-second cure. So for the ring finger, again, I'm going in with Perfect White, and I'm just writing Happy New Year. Now, for this one, I felt like I could have done a bit more, but then, like, the end, all the extras that I put onto the nails, it kind of brought it out a bit, so it wasn't so bad. And in person, y'all know camera never does anything justice, but in person, these nails were to die for. They were so nice, so cute. Typically, when I'm going in with nail art, I like to put down like a base coat or either top coat them matte or shiny. But I decided to just go right in with the freshly filed and buffed nail and just write it out. And it worked out pretty great. So once I got the letters set, I did give it a 30-second cure in my lamp. So now we're applying bling, and I did use my rhinestone, my McCart rhinestone glue around that cuticle, and I'm placing a star and some 80 rhinestones as a cuticle cuff on my index. I'm also going to do the same thing to my ring, pinky, and thumb as well. They're all just going to be cuticle cuffs. And I'll let you watch those nails. And then when I do get to my middle finger, which is next, I'll kind of explain that a bit. I didn't expect to do too much talking in this because my throat. But y'all, I love to talk. I can't even help it. I can't help myself. I always say to myself, okay, the next video, I'm going to talk a little less and kind of just let them watch the video. But I like to talk. I like to hear my voice. So I apologize. So on the middle finger, I'm going in with the McCart rhinestone glue, and I'm just doing like a swirl design on this nail with the rhinestone glue. And I love swirl designs on a nail. I feel like they are always perfect, and I feel like you can't do any wrong with it. I feel like you'll always get a nice like little rhinestone placement if you do use this method, and it just works really, really well. So I'm going in now and just doing this entire nail. And in between, like each area, I do place a star AB rhinestone. And the star to me just represents like, New Year, the star year, time for you to, start anew, do something new, or continue what you're doing, but go harder. I just felt like the stars went really well with this set. But once I got this nail cured, look at me, y'all. That's because I need to stop talking and rest my throat. But once I got these rhinestones set, I did give this a 30-second cure. And then after that, I go in with the rest of the cuticle cuffs that I did on the rest of the fingers and cure those as well for 30 seconds. So I decided not to show my thumb because it's repetitive. It's just the cuticle cuff. But now I'm going in and top coating over all of the nails. Y'all, these nails came to life. Them glitters came to life when this top coat hit. It was so amazing. I love that. When you have like a freshly file shaped and buff nail, you know how they look all dull and stuff. And then you have something that, has an effect. So like basically those glitters and the color too, it pops once you top coat. It's just so nice to see that. But once I did top coat the nails, I cured for 30 seconds, and off camera I applied some cuticle oil, and I'll be back in just a moment with the final look. And here is the finished set. I mean, y'all, to me, it definitely screams New Year. It's giving party. It's giving life. Like, I love it. But comment down below and let me know what you think of this nail set. And if you've made it this far, I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe, and hit your post notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future sets. I thank y'all for joining me today, and I'll see y'all Saturday. Remember to be the very best you that you can be, and much love to you all.